Hello and welcome. Happy Wednesday, everybody. It is Wednesday, the 20th of August, 2025. I cannot believe we are nearing September. What in the world? What in the world is happening?
YouTube stream is now live.
Thank you, Lumia. And thank you for being first in Chat Eclipse. How are you doing today, sir? We had sessions this last week for both the Kingdoms campaign and actually, sorry, hold on, I'm getting ahead of myself. If you don't know me, I am Mercy, the head game master. HereThereBeMonsters. We run two campaigns in the Kingdom of Rin campaign setting. I run one about 2 Saturdays a month, and Etma from the Mortal Woes runs the other on about 1 Monday per month. The Kingdom of Rin is a low-level, low-power, low-economy D&D 3.5 setting that focuses on kind of overcome the odds to save the world type fantasy. Think like Lord of the Rings. We had sessions on Saturday for the Kingdom campaign and on Monday for the Chronicles campaign. And both of them were a ton of fun. We had I'll be spoiler free, because I know some folks are waiting for us to catch up on the VODs, but we had a very interesting encounter in the Kingdom campaign on Saturday that I thought was very exciting and had a very interesting, kind of alternative win condition, if you will. If you know, you know. And the Chronicles campaign ended with some classic D&D, or not, the campaign didn't end. The session ended with some classic D&D clown car shenanigans. So both really enjoyable sessions. Thank you to everybody that was there live. And I am still hoping to get our VODs resumed here on YouTube before we go on vacation, so y'all can watch a few of them while we're gone. But it's crunch time. We leave for vacation in about a week. So I'm trying. How are you doing, Reading Squirrel? And I hope you're having a good week so far, Eclipse. So today is a continuation from last week's projects, namely because last week's project took way longer to execute than I anticipated. So first things first, let's give our player characters experience, because if we don't, they might come and perform actual attack rolls against me. First things first, we've got our session XP. So for those of you that have never been here before, when we're giving out experience, we do we don't do milestones. We do XP, and there's kind of 3 aspects there. One is any combat. Well, okay, the first one, I guess, going in order. The first one is session XP. So I don't want to get into trying to track and give XP for every little thing that everyone said. That's way too tedious, and that's not going to be fun. So we do session XP, where they just get a flat rate amount to kind of generally encompass most of the things that happen during the session. And in that way, it's still kind of like it's like micro milestones. But then we give kind of bonus XP, if you will, for particularly, for just any combat, plus any particularly dangerous combat gets an additional bonus. And then similarly, any non-combat encounters that we have, and any particularly good role play or anything that comes out of those encounters. So first things first, I'm going to give the session XP. Let's see, everybody was here this last session, I do believe. Also, a reminder to hydrate. I don't know who you are. I don't know where you are, but I know you haven't drunk enough water today. That was a pretty good session. We had some good role play. We had, like I said, a very interesting combat encounter. I think I will leave the session XP. I just copy pasted it to start with, but I think I'm actually going to leave it fairly high. In fact, I might even raise it a little bit more. Then we're going to give Rubato and Bahir some bonus experience for their actions that led to the encounter. Thank you. Thank you very much. Good luck on your own projects as well. Because he's typed more than you have. I think that's all there is to it. He is pretty awesome, too. I can't argue with that. Okay, so there's some bonus XP for those two. Gonna work out some things for yourself. Well, I'd be happy to hear about your projects if you're willing to share, but no worries if it's more of a private thing. Don't want to distract me too much, so you don't have to answer. Oh, no worries. These are like, sometimes I will say, hey, this is the thing that I really need to super focus on. Sorry, guys, I'm not going to be very talkative today, but generally, I'm happy to converse while I work. I do appreciate you looking out, though. How much experience do you need as a player to start DMing? Yeah, good question. The short version is none. But obviously there will be some benefits for having had experience as a player. More or less trying to construct a campaign involving monster hunting and Norse Pantheon. Oh, very cool. So when I started DMing, I had only played in about a dozen sessions. Give or take. It might have even been less than that, honestly. It might have been closer to a half dozen. It's a combination of how well do you deal with being out of your element. For some people, that's a huge thing, and for some people, that's not such a big thing. And for two, what players can you find, and how forgiving, will they be of your learning process? But really, you don't need much. Generally speaking, the hobby suffers greatly from not having nearly enough dungeon masters. So I generally advise people to give it a try. Try a one shot first. If you're concerned about longer term commitment, that'll give you a chance to kind of learn what you know and what you don't know, and get an initial read on your players and how supportive they are as well. But I would actually argue that having good players is more important than having a good DM. Yeah, of course. If you have any follow-up thoughts or questions, please feel free to ask them. But oh yeah, I mean, either can definitely tip the scales. But if you think about it, like, I mean, if nothing else, just to buy a numbers game, right? You're theoretically going to have 2 to 5 other players. The DM's only one person. On a per-person basis, yes, the DM probably has more impact than any one other individual player, although I would say not even necessarily always true, but on average. But I would also say that on average, a good player group will have a higher total impact than a good DM. Because good players can do so many things to help. And this is something, it's actually a long planned video series that I just haven't gotten around to yet. but is doing. Everybody makes videos on how to be a good DM, and that is important because, like I said, the hobby suffers from not enough DMs. But I want to make a series on how to be a good player because I think that's super important. You know, things like, everybody says, oh, the DM should just, whatever, rule of cool more. Don't look things up in the book so much. Have the whole module memorized ahead of time. Whatever. Take whatever bent you want. But that's just placing more stress on the DM, which is already a difficult enough job. What you should instead have, or not instead, but additionally, what you should have is players who recognize when a DM needs a minute to deal with something behind the screen and strikes up a conversation with another player, or helps look up the rule themselves, or whatever. Like I could go on and on, but I think it's the importance of players at the table is, I think, hugely understated. There's so much focus on the DM. I put that to all of you who are players in TTRPGs as well, to look for those moments when you can support your table and your DM. Hey, mandatory fun time. Good to see you. I'm sorry. I'm super distracted with a little bit of eczema on my palm right now. Not that anybody really needed to know that, but that's what I'm looking at. I'm not playing with my phone. You had no experience when you started. Your group didn't want to DM, but you really want to try it out. That's awesome, man. Good on you for taking the plunge. I think actually I'm going to take these and move them down. Let's see. How do I want to classify that encounter that we had? Theoretically, on paper, by CR, which we know is a highly flawed system, but by CR, that was not a difficult encounter. However, there were some environmental circumstances that made the encounter more challenging. Okay, I know how I'm going to differentiate it because I have encounters broken down into five kind of like difficulty tiers that each have a little bit of an experience range. But I have non-encounter, easy encounter, average encounter, hard encounter, and insane encounter. And I think due partly to the way that people play, people and their characters played it, that will affect whether it was considered an easy encounter or an average encounter for them. I'll catch up on the chat here in just a sec. Now I got to remember what everybody did. Oh, shoot. I'm not. Hold on. I got to look up the spelling of something. To finish this thought, then, like I said, I'll catch up on the chat. That much. Okay, there we go. You see chatty chat there. Chandra, you had a battle with 3 ghouls of Leng. I'm not familiar with that monster. One ran away, the other 2 were killed by the party. Undead that run away? Interesting. Did you have somebody turning? Help the original body of a character that you had freed in an old human body. Oh, cool. What can also really help as a player is knowing the class that you're playing. Striking up conversations with other players while things are being looked up. Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Yeah, and it sounds really forehead, but like know your class, right? You can't expect your DM to know how to play all 5 classes. Like at that point, they should just play by themselves. So yes, obviously don't be afraid to ask a question if you have one, but broadly speaking, you shouldn't be 20 sessions in and still not knowing how the basic mechanics of your character work. That's a ton of extra load on a game master. Original bodies from a race that can swap bodies, or if the NPCs swap into their old body, you have to kill the zombie it became, and then I dig it. I dig it. I like it. I love it. Okay. Nothing else is jumping out at me that I want to give XP for necessarily. So we'll move on. All right. So weather. We spent a lot of time last working stream recreating the weather table that I have in Google Sheets form, and I'm super glad that I did. In that, it looks really nice, and it'll be really easy to use as a template for the future if and when we need additionally like fleshed out weather tables. But since it was not done yet before the session on Saturday, I just ad hoc'd something, and honestly, it seemed to work out just fine. In general, I like having like very variable and dynamic weather. That's part of the reason why I really like that weather chart. However, the region where the players are right now has a very specific, fairly narrow band of weather. And I don't actually think that it needs to be as complicated as we were making it last time. So we're gonna make it down and dirty one, and then we'll go back to the really pretty chart thing another time. Somebody's also spewing out spores. So you have to figure out a way to protect the body and have it travel with you, but you won't allow it in the room you travel. Where's my? Oh, there we go. World building. The Everwhites. I think we're gonna go ahead and take this. We're gonna go to organize, move. move it here. Okay. Rename. This is the cold. There we go. All right. So we've preserved all of the work from last time. It has not gone to waste, but for the moment, what is going to be the best way for me to display this information? A doc or a sheet? I feel like probably a doc with some cells inserted, which I know it's always a horror show, but dang it. Okay. I'm gonna have to type all this out manually then. So what I was doing is every 8 hours, roll 1d8. Like a 1 to 2 is calm. 3 to 7. Well, okay, no. A 3 to 4 is light snow. 5 to 6 is storm. 7 is blizzard. And 8 is supernatural. Give me time filling. So, the majority of the info that we need to get into this file is the supernatural perils of the Frostfell. That being said, although not explicitly weather, did I maybe put like the altitude sickness and hypothermia and whatnot rules here too? It's great. They call it dire weather. I mean, sure. Okay, so gonna be easier to do actually initially in Notepad, I do believe. I believe. So here's all the info on cold. What do they call this section? This is just cold dangers. Dang it. Trying to get in my eye. I think I may have gotten it. Doing some formatting here really quickly. All right, there's cold, severe cold, extreme cold, and unearthly cold. We've got hypothermia. Excellent. Let's see. I want insert. I want a table that is 2x4, I think. Dang it, 2x5. And a nice little table. I'm actually feeling pretty productive today. Excellent. There's that. And theoretically, I'm supposed to be going to break, but I want to try and get to a stopping point here. Breaking through ice probably also would be useful, but I feel like that's probably infrequently enough needed. That I'm not going to worry as much about that one. Altitude sickness, I probably do want in here. Oh god. Almost broke everything. Perfect. What a wonderful typo. I just typed altitude suckness, which, yeah. Yeah. Then we've got dire weather. Avoiding dire weather. I feel like I missed a section on the normal weather. Look for that. Dire weather can be killer. It's true. Oh, here it is. Okay. All right. So our dire weather is defined as acid sleet, blood snow blizzard, death hail, howl of the north, razor sleet, rust flurry. I guess that's it. 1, 2, 3, 4. So they give 6. Oh, no, and negation flurry. Oh god, that's not like negative levels or something, is it? Oh, no, okay. Interesting. There's 7 of them. Why is it an odd number, D&D? I want an easy to roll number. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. We might just skip negation flurry. Honestly, it sounds a little lame. Also, how how epic of a name is that? One of the supernatural dangers is death hail. Sounds like a metal band or something. Okay, and Howl of the North needs its own table. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Why are all these tables 7? I guess one of the first one has no effect though, so it'll be 6 essentially. 2 by 6. Insert table 2 by 6. Is a great name for a metal band. Okay, then there's a whole section on magical terrain. All right, there's more that I need to get in this document than I thought there was. Let's go ahead and take that break. I am most of the way done with it though. Let's just highlight things really quickly so I don't forget where we were. I need to make a table up there. I need to fill a table here. I need to add normal weather. Like normal storms, I don't know. But that's more what I mean. And then we need the rules for altitude sickness. Okay. Excellent. That'll probably be 10-ish more minutes after we get back. Let's get up and stretch though. If you haven't been up off your booty in a little while, now's a great time to do so. Get up, move around a little, get the blood flowing in your legs, and refill your water. And I'll be back in 5 or so minutes. Normally, I do a Pokemon Go battle during the break, and I'll let you know how I did. But the battle leagues right now, I do not like at all. And I don't want to ruin my record. So I'm just going to go get some steps in and refill the water that I'm about to finish. And then we'll get back to it. Also, if you're having fun, if you haven't already had a chance to do so, would love to have you put a thumbs up on the video. It's a good, easy, free way to tell YouTube that you like what we're doing and that they should show it to more people. Alrighty then. Get the countdown updated. All right. The table for Howl of the North. It has 7 levels, which is annoying, so we're going with 6. Starts with light that has no effect. But then at that point, why are you even like announcing like, oh, there's a light howl? There's no effect. So ignoring light, we have moderate, strong, severe, windstorm, hurricane, and tornado. This book also does a lot of annoying, like cross-referencing that most of the other books don't do. Where it gives you a lot of, like, see the Dungeon Masters guide for more. Like, why isn't the more just here, please? I want the information. All right, there is the Howl of the North table. Although it did say at certain times the moaning wind can be heard sweeping across the Everfrost Thunder, blah 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 blah. In addition to the wind effects, see table 3-24 on page 95 of the Dungeon Master's Guide. The Howl of the North causes the additional effects listed in the table below. A typical occurrence of the Howl of the North lasts for 4d4 rounds. Okay, what was the page? 95. Oh, here we go. Wins. Oh, I see. Okay. Now I see why they did it the way they did it. It was annoying, but sure. Hello, Kale. How are you? Want to do a doter? I could probably do one. Well, depends a little bit on timing. What's your availability? Ideally, I would spend a little bit of time with Pixie after she gets home, and then I could do one. I'll just start before 10 p. Oh yeah. No. I just mean because I'll be done here in 20 to 30 minutes. And that should be around the time that she gets home, and then I would just spend like I don't know 15 to 30 minutes with her, and then I could play. So I could play in like an hour ish. Should be aight. How's your day been, sir? What have you been up to? Craving some Dota, but work was good and everything, I hope. Good, nice and chill. Excellent. Glad to hear it. Do I have any tips for playing a ranger? I have never actually played one. We can definitely workshop some stuff. Is this kind of your traditional, woodsman, master of nature kind of thing? Kind of more so a hunter and sets out to kill the undead that are haunting his village. Um, sure, but that's more like the second part there is, less of has less to do with him being a ranger. Try that again. The second part of that has less to do with him being a ranger and is more like what he's doing now. A Fey wanderer, I'm assuming. Or is it warden? Also got a smartwatch yesterday, proceeds to not wear it. Hello, Kara. Welcome back. Sessions went well last week. Also, the campaign just doubled in the length because one character got a lot of death. Yeah, that's the way it goes. But, you know, I don't think it's a bad thing necessarily. Personally, I prefer a longer running campaign. I know some people like to do shorter ones and then start over, but cool that you're letting the kind of narrative lead how you're handling that. Just wear the watch when you go to bed. Then you can't forget to put it on. Exactly. Okay. Insert a table. We want something that's 2x3. Oh, I guess I could do it. Never mind. We'll go 2x5. Yeah, it's still taking me some getting used to the switch from the old Fitbit that I had. The Flex, which was really small and really light. Like I never knew that it was on my wrist. To the one that I have now that I just got, whose name I'm drawing a blank on. I really don't like stuff on my wrist, and I tend to sweat pretty easily. And like the Flex never made me sweat because it was so small. It had such a small footprint. But this one, even though it's quite small, like it's about a finger width, but it's just enough that like I find myself getting sweaty under it. All right. Our 4 pages and growing document on weather in the Everwhite is nearly complete. Just need to do altitude sickness and normal weather. Gonna do one solo. No, we know how this goes. You'll win that one, and then we'll get 3 griefers on our team and a smurf on the other team when we play together. Where the heck is the note about the normal weather? I've been playing ranked with Charybdis, and the game quality is so much better. Probably because it's legend players, because of its rank. I mean, you'd think so, but like, I was legend for most of the time, like most of the first, I don't know, like few years that we were playing together. You can get Garbo no matter what. That's true. Our average was lower. Even if I was one rank higher than I am now, you were like 2 ranks lower. Or 3? I forget how that works. Well, long campaigns allow for greater character growth, but short campaigns are better if you just want to kick butt and take names. Yeah, I think shorter campaigns tend to do well for higher power level and or more like heroic fantasy type stuff. For the life of me, I found it earlier, and now I cannot. There it is. Holy crap, why was that so difficult? All right, so we've got precipitation, which is kind of generally, it covers snow, sleet, fog, and hail. Then we've got snowstorm. Had to step away for a second. Oh, no worries. Yeah, I asked a follow-up question. I was just trying to find out a little bit more about the character. I don't remember exactly what I asked, but you said something about your character being Fae related. So I think, there's a few things to think about there, but the Fae they are different, right? They are other. So, how is that otherness portrayed through your character? Are you aloof? Are you haughty? Are you, do you act superior to non-Fae? Are you curious? Like super curious? Haughty. But yes, I guess we could find out if he's a baddie also. Oh dear God, I just tried to move a table in a text document. I regret everything. He is, in fact, a baddie. All right. There's our normal weather. Hunter's Mark is usually a cornerstone of your combat, yes. Sorry, when you asked, when we talked about the character last time, you were asking a lot more about roleplay, so I thought maybe that was what you were thinking. Yeah, mechanically, I'm not going to be able to be as helpful there, unfortunately. A class that I have never played nor DM'd for, and also in a different version than I usually play in DM. Yeah, of course. I'm happy to spitball roleplay stuff with you and whatnot, though. I kind of want to be able to hyperlink this document. There's so much info in here. Altitude sickness is the only thing I'm not done with yet. Okay, there's the note. Page 90 of the Dungeon Masters Guide. Thank God. Altitude. Here we go. Oh God, what did I just do? Don't do that. I'm in shambles. There we go. All non-acclimated characters labor to breathe in the thin air. Characters must succeed on a fortitude save or be fatigued. Fatigue ends when the character descends to an altitude with more air. Acclimated characters do not have to attempt the fortitude save. No regrets, it's true. I'm trying to get my page breaks to not be bad. Curse Curse you, having worked at a newspaper. I have 2 lines breaking over that I'm having trouble solving. Oh, actually, here we go. There's something I can delete. Dang it. Okay, there is one more section that I still need to do. Oh, actually, never mind. Easy peasy. There was a whole, like, defining paragraph that didn't need to be there. Boom. Nailed it. Okay. Well, again, all of this took longer than I wanted, but we are at least going to finish it. The last thing that I need is section on like special supernatural terrains. There we go, magical terrain. Avoiding magical terrain. Then we have, oh dear God, don't do that. Do, 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 do. movement. There's that. Paragraph break. I'm curious how many pages this actually is going to end up being once all is said and done. In addition, and any cited. In addition. Oh. Spotting ebony ice. Fairy Frost. Speaking of the Fae. Creatures who remain and dazed creatures. Trying to preserve like paragraph breaks and such as well. We're into page 7 now. How am I doing on time? Oh god, I'm at 120. I thought I was doing better than that. Pillars and spotting pillars. These pillars. And spotting pillars. Negation snow. That. Then razor ice. We had razor ice during Saturday's session. Then rust snow. Almost there. Almost there. We've got one more to go. A snow geyser. That sounds cool. It did, in fact, break down onto page 8. Only just barely. I'm not sure if this ended up being much of a cheat sheet with how long it is, but at least all the information is consolidated now. This will also make the locations portion of our to-do list here a lot easier to execute, because a lot of the locations would be the results of the supernatural weathers that we just dealt with all the information for. So I'm going to go ahead and put a pin in the weather, and locations and encounters will be next time. Now, that being said, next time is a little ways away because we're going on vacation. We actually go next Wednesday, very early in the morning, so no working Wednesday stream for the next couple of weeks. So I like these streams. I know a lot of other folks like listening in and working on their projects along with me. So you will be You will be missed during the vacay, but no working Wednesday stream the 27th, the 3rd, or the 10th. So it actually, because of the way that it works out, it comes out to 3 Wednesdays. So our next working Wednesday stream will probably be the 17th, which is a whole month, which is a little bit of a bummer. But at the same time, I'm very excited for vacation. So hopefully we catch you for more working Wednesday streams when we get back from vacation. As I said at the start, I am still hoping and planning on getting a couple of more D&D sessions uploaded here to YouTube before we go on vacation. We'll just have to see if I have a lot to get done before vacation, so we'll have to see. But that's my hope. So make sure you have notifications on, and I will see you all soon. Thank you for being here, and as always, take care and be excellent to each other.